Well, after 13 years in the organization, 9 of those as the head coach, the Cowboys plan to part ways with Jason Garrett, first reported by ESPN. Now, the last 9-year run for JG, clearly not what the bosses wanted. In that time span, only 3 seasons of 10 or more wins. We know the knock against Garrett, the talent wasted over that time, especially when it comes to the postseason. Just 2 wins for Jerry and the boys. All right, let's bring in the voice of the star, our guy, Patrick Walker, checking in this morning. And, Patrick, just want to get your reaction, finally seeing this divorce coming to an end a little bit.
Well, based on what I'm being told, we first need to pump the brakes just a bit as far as the decision having been made by the Dallas Cowboys on the future of Jason Garrett. Now, despite reports that are out there right now that say the Cowboys have in fact decided to move on and make sure that Jason Garrett is not only no longer the head coach, but no longer in the organization whatsoever. I'm told by several sources with knowledge of the situation that a decision has not yet been made. Now, does that mean it will not be made here soon? No, because it actually will, and the expectation remains the same. Sources told me on Sunday, following the conclusion of the regular season, that Jason Garrett's contract would be allowed to time out, and then the Cowboys will move forward in looking for a successor. I spoke with a source last night who told me that the decision could come as soon as today or Saturday, but also keep in mind it could have come as soon as Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or even yesterday. So we're still working on Jerry Jones's timetable right now. A decision has not yet been made at the time we have this conversation, but it is expected to come soon, and it is expected to be the end of Jason Garrett's tenure.
All right, Patrick, of course, we're waiting to hear something maybe today or tomorrow. We never know. Jerry plays these games all the time. But in your opinion, how will JG be remembered as the coach of the Dallas Cowboys? They have the second most wins in Cowboy history.
Well, it's interesting because it's a bit duplicitous when it comes to Jason Garrett. How he'll be remembered within that building is not how he'll be remembered outside of the building. Now, within the building, Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, a lot of the players, they love Jason Garrett, and they'll remember him as a leader of men, one who can galvanize the locker room, one who was a mentor to a lot of players. You look at a player like Randy Gregory, who struggled with mental illness and addiction, and several other players that over the years under his tenure have struggled and been able to be ball players because of him. And he's a winning regular season coach, if you want to be honest. He's 87 and 65 or 64 in his tenure, but he was never able to turn the corner in the playoffs, and that is how he'll be remembered by fans, media, and those outside of the organization as the guy who was able to get turnarounds mid-season, but when January came, his teams just never showed up.
All right, step 1 in motion somewhat. Now, the next in line, what do you expect them to do as far as find this next coach? How long will that process take, considering how long this one has taken so far?
Well, what's interesting is, and this is something that I spoke on earlier in the week, one of the reasons the Cowboys feel like they can take their time making the decision on Jason Garrett is because they feel that one or more of their potential candidates to succeed Jason Garrett are not in jeopardy of being snatched up by any particular NFL team. You have people like Lincoln Riley, who's still out there, Matt Rule from Baylor, he's going to be a top priority, Urban Meyer, potentially Mike McCarthy, dark horse being Dan Mullen, the list goes on and on. The Cowboys feel like they're not going to have any shortage of potential candidates to bring in, interview, and sit into the Jason Garrett seat that he's voiding. But as far as that is concerned, it's going to be an expansive search. The Cowboys will be in no rush. It is possible they could make the decision quickly, but if you look at how things are going with Jason Garrett, clearly Jerry Jones is not afraid to take his time making sure he gets this one right. He's 77 years old. He understands his own mortality, and this might unfortunately be the last chance he gets at nailing it when it comes to selecting a head coach that can win him that elusive 6th Super Bowl.
All right, Patrick Walker, thank you for your time, man, keeping us in the know with the Cowboys, as always.
Thanks for having me.
So you heard it there. It's not official yet, but it's possibly going to happen maybe today, tomorrow, when Jerry Jones makes an announcement that JG is out the door as the head coach.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of consensus that they are going to move on from Jason Garrett. It's just a matter of when they plan to do that. Patrick, with great information there providing us, telling us that, you know, the decision has not been made as of yet. It's still up in the air. So we'll be following it, of course, all throughout the day here on CBS Sports HQ. This is where you want to keep it tuned.